Do you have any blind spots that you've discovered?
Well, I do think that I don't think this is unique to me, but I'm susceptible to not recognizing how problematic a person or their view is, or their effects on the world are, because I have a pleasant social connection to them. I mean, I think I mean, this is something that I've been roundly criticized for too. I mean, many people think I just have terrible judgments of character because there are certain people who I've had as allies or colleagues, or have promoted, or been on podcasts with, or had on my podcast, or called my friends, or they called me their friends, or what. People who I've been associated with who are just fucking awful influences on our culture now. Um, and I admit that, and it's a problem, right? And honestly, I still don't know how to navigate it, right? Because when you have dinner with somebody, presumably even um, Heinrich Himmler can seem like a nice guy, right? I mean, it's like there's a corrupting aspect to just being social with another human being. I mean, some people are charismatic and apparently sane, and then they go off and do the insane and unconscionable thing, or say the insane and unconscionable thing, or just undergo some kind of evolution in their view of the world, that wherein they migrate into some other orbit. Which, if this person were a stranger, I would be destroying them at podcast length. But because they were, quote, a friend, or an associate, or a friend of a friend, or whatever the relation is, I feel some kind of ethical imperative to bend over backwards to give them the benefit of the doubt, or to not say anything, or to not say it as much as I might, and it's correct. It's definitely corrupting. Um, but honestly, I just don't know I don't know that I understand the ethics of it. I mean, I think it's, yeah, I don't know I mean, like, for instance, I was just on the trigonometry podcast. I don't know if that's aired yet, but be interested to see what actually came out of my mouth. But if memory serves, I ran down Joe Rogan pretty fully in that interview. Just being honest about what I thought about his effect on our culture. I mean, I just think it's been, it's not been all bad, but the bad parts have been truly terrible. Um, and he certainly was a friend, and we've been out of contact for some time, and I've tried to reach out to him privately, and he hasn't responded. But I felt the need to say things about him publicly that I'm very uncomfortable saying about a friend. But I just think it's unignorable at this point, right? So, but again, I don't know that I have the ethics right. I'm not at all comfortable with the um, the situation I have found myself in, and I don't know how to get comfortable with it. But the tipping point for me is when the consequences out in the world seem big enough, and I recognize that the only reason why I'm holding my tongue is because I've had some pleasant association with this person. It just seems irresponsible at that point to privilege the personal and private over the kind of the public imperative of making sense. So that's the way I've kind of split the baby. But again, I don't know that I have it right, and you know, I'm sure that Joe or any other person that I've criticized might just think that I have done something unethical in sounding off publicly about them. Maybe that I've betrayed a friendship on some level, and I would understand that view. I mean, certainly, but and if I ever get their views wrong, or I mean, obviously, that's something to apologize for and to be very scrupulous about, and I'm that way even with my enemies. But yeah, I just think it's been a blind spot to be slow to realize the liability here. Right. I mean, like someone like Dave Rubin, I was getting his hate mail for years before I acknowledged the validity of it. Right. Because he was a friend. but I mean, once the friendship, once his the weakness of his ethical compass um, became obvious, uh, the friendship unraveled, but it took so long. I mean, then I look back on all the criticism I got for being Dave Rubin's friend, and I have to admit, the critics were right, right? I mean, all that hate mail was right about Dave Rubin. And so, I don't know what to do with that, but it is a kind of I mean, it's a professional liability or it's a personal blind spot. I don't know, but it's again, it's I'm a work in progress on this, and I don't quite know how to navigate it, but I do find that I'm just kind of breaking up with people now, right? I'm just, there are people who play this very differently. I mean, the person whose hate mail I also get, uh, though I still love him, is Douglas Murray, right? And but he navigates this very differently, and I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. I mean, he really just doesn't close the door with anyone. He's very tolerant of kind of a looseness of fit with other people's ethics, uh, in a way that I'm not. And honestly, I don't know who's right about this. It's a long life, and you don't know who you're going to have to be fighting in a trench with, should the landscape change in the future. I'm prepared to admit that I could be totally wrong about this, but whenever I see someone's um, ethics go sufficiently haywire, I decide, all right, this actually has to affect the relationship, right? And that's happened with a bunch of people at this point. I mean, the boundary between the personal and the professional, uh, all that's hard to figure out how to navigate, I must say. And again, I'm not confident that I have the right view of it currently. So.